Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Bonjour, mesdemoiselles, mesdames and messieurs. We definitely are living in a time of unprecedented economic change. We are in a recession, there's no doubt about that. There has been some fundamental issues in the nature of how our economy works and how it has globalized itself over the last 30 to 40 years that is really having an impact for the first time on a global sense of where we are in the community of our fellow countries and fellow man. The issues that are confronting us right now certainly aren't the great abyss that has been shared by former generations. If we look at our grandparents, they went through the tragedies of the First World War. Some of them lived through the Depression. Our parents, if you're out there, baby boomers, lived through the Depression, lived through the fear of the Second World War, indeed lived through the fear. And I asked my mother the other day, what was the thing that frightened her the most in her life? And she said it was the Cuban Missile Crisis. Everybody remember that? That was what frightened that generation at that time. In our own time, because we have such a short memory, we have gone through economic crises. Does everybody remember, or some of you remember, the oil crisis of 1973? Does everybody remember the huge inflation and 10%, 12%, 13% unemployment that we had in this country during the 1970s? Does everybody remember the inflation bubble that occurred in the early 1980s when you could get a GIC at 19%? But also a mortgage at 19% to 20%, 23%. If we look at what has happened during the 90s, in the 80s, we had in the United States a savings and loan crisis. We've had a dot-com bubble that blew up in our faces. But today, what is really unique about this is the true impact that credit markets have had on the whole global infrastructure. And we live in an unprecedented time that I think is going to reconstitute how our economies work. There is a revolution that is occurring for us right now that is going to underpin a new economy that is going to emerge from this. This is a huge opportunity. A crisis is a terrible thing to waste. And we have a huge opportunity in this country to lead the way in technology and ability and financial stability. Certainly our banking industry has been a hallmark of that stability worldwide. But there is something that concerns me deeply. And that is an undercurrent, a presence of something that is going to create a financial health crisis, indeed has created a financial health crisis that is upon us today. And that is a financial health crisis that has happened in the last short 3 to 4 decades. How did this health crisis come about? Does anybody know what ADD is? Acute debt disorder. That is what we are living in now. The values that were shared by my parents, I'll talk about my mother-in-law, for instance. My mother-in-law lived through the Depression, the Second World War. She was bombed out in London. Today, she is independently wealthy because she saved. She was parsimonious. Parsimonious is a good word, by the way. She saved. She was frugal. The inside of her house looks like something out of that 70s show. The shag carpet is that horrid orangish thing that we had, and goodness knows what's living in it. But she's one of these people that brings over coupons. I have more toilet paper underneath my stairs than I probably will ever need because she's looking for deals. How many people pay off their balance every month? Anybody want to guess? Guess. Hmm? Out of 100, how many people pay it off? 10%? 25%? Okay? Guess what? It's 42%. Okay? Pay it off every month. That's pretty good. But that means that there's a lot of people there that are living on credit. And there is a behavior. There is a behavior that I call, as I said, acute debt disorder. So we have truly today not a credit crisis, but a credit problem that is going to be part and parcel of future generations that we are going to bequeath to them. We currently have $70 billion on credit card balances. We have over $1.3 trillion in mortgage debt. On Visa alone, we have more debt than the whole gross national product of the Ukraine. This is a huge issue. What I think is one of the most critical things for the sustenance, the sustainability, the health, and the welfare of Canadians. And that is financial literacy. So what is financial literacy? Financial literacy is the ability to use knowledge and skills to manage financial resources effectively for a lifetime of financial well-being. Education is the process by which people increase their understanding of financial products, services, and concepts so they are empowered to make the right decisions and informed choices and know the pitfalls and know where to go for help around their financial affairs. It's true that financially well-versed people are far more happy, are far more calm through this period of uncertainty than people that are not. And what is knowledge? Knowledge is power. When you do not have knowledge, you have what? You have fear, because you do not know. You do not have the information at hand to allow you to make those rational, concrete, wise decisions. The keys to financial literacy, again, are how do I manage debt effectively? How do I live frugally? Not, cut everything out, but how do I live wisely within my means? You are the knowledge workers in financial advice. You are the people that have the skill sets, the knowledges, to be able to help people. We have a calling today as people who are financial advisors, who are financial planners, who are engaged in the financial services industry, to reach out to Canadians to educate them on financial literacy. You yourself need to take the lead on this. You need to seek the education that is timely and competency-based. You need to get designations that are the hallmark of your ability and your credibility. You need to belong to an association that has integrity, community, and knowledge at the forefront of what it does. You have to take this by the horns. You are the foot soldiers of literacy, and you must talk to your compatriots and your colleagues to engage them in this process, because it is now that we have to do these things. You baby boomers, me included, we've left generations in the future with the bag. All you people born after 1963, point your fingers at those baby boomers that put up their hand and said, "Look what you've done to me." But we can atone. We can atone. Become teachers. Become knowledge workers. Transfer those things that you know to other generations, to the people that you know, to help them have security in the future so that they can become financial literates. Because the sustainability, the health, the future of our nation depends on it. And there is nothing that we can do that is more important today as an industry and as individuals is to improve the financial literacy of Canadians, because it is a cause that unites us all. Thank you.